I mean, it was so straight laced.
Yeah.
I honestly, I gotta say, I love the whole segment with the land of obsolete men, complete Scooby-Doo shenanigans.
Yeah, land of obsolete men, Bray Wyatt versus a drone, and the Lake of Reincarnation making a comeback.
Chair of wheels,
mower
of lawns.
Which one?
Dang it, we love you, Matt Hardy. You can't say that Woken Matt is not great.
If this was the ending to the beginning of the feud was good. The middle 2 months were shit. You can't deny that.
They were slow and ill balanced.
They were bad.
Mm-hmm.
You could put it any way you want. They were bad. Okay, but if this was what it was all leading up to, and we get a fresh take of the Bray Wyatt character coming out of it, okay, then I'm happy with what we got at the end. That was fun. Like, I didn't know how the WWE was gonna do. Oh, and Michael Cole. Shut up. Really? Okay. Shitting on it before it starts.
Well, guess what?
Matt Hardy should delete you. The Lake of Reincarnation is calling your name, Michael Cole.
Yeah, so you'll refrost your hair and get back that stupid goatee that you used to have.
And I like that they thought so much of it that they gave it the main event spot.
They had to. That was a very good call on their part. They definitely made the right call on that one.
Yeah. So definitely not what I thought they were going to do with the Ultimate Deletion. I thought that they were going to completely change it. Like that did feel like the TNA. That felt like the Broken Universe for a minute. It felt like we were back a couple of years. When the Broken Hardys were the best thing going in the business. It felt for a moment like we had that back. The question is, where do they go from here?
I'm going to answer that in the form of another Scholar's Quick Talk question. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not likely to happen, 10 being almost guaranteed to happen, on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely is it that you think that Broken Matt is going to win the Money in the Bank?
3.
3? I'm going to say a 6.
See, because I
think he's a much strong... After this match and all the hype, I'm convinced he's a much more viable candidate for that position than he was maybe a couple months ago.
Here's the thing. Okay. As much as I like the fact that Vince McMahon gave it the main event spot, there was talk backstage that he thought that Ultimate Deletion was going to fail. It'd be a big flop. He didn't trust in it. So, as much as I think that it worked and all that, I think that there's other people in mind for this year's Money in the Bank. If you're asking me about next year, 2019, I'd say that there's a better shot there than. But I think that this year, it's really Finn Balor's to lose. Really, when I think about it, and I think they have their hooks in too many people for Broken Matt right now.
Yeah, even so, just given the sheer response that
I'll raise it up to a 4.
Yeah, I was gonna put him at a 6 personally, but I'm just convinced. Yeah. Even though I'm positive that you're absolutely right that not a lot of people really believed in this segment if they haven't seen any of the other segments. With this being received as universally well as it has been, I'm guessing that probably was a good catalyst to change a lot of minds that it actually did work, including Vince McMahon.
Well, here's the problem. with that statement. Okay, I think that this is the first time with the whole Woken Matt experiment. They've been doing it for 4 months. This is the first time that it's been universally said that this is great. Mm-hmm. First time in 4 months. I don't think they're going to base a thing that they have so much put into, like the Money in the Bank, off of someone who was universally
considered to be underwhelming
into something that's been underwhelming for 4 months. Like, this is the first time since the opening promo that I've been like, oh, this feels like something that could main event. This was the first time since the promo. And I don't think they'll put something like the Money in the Bank on that when it's been 4 months and this is the first time. That's it.
Now, remind me, do you know when the Money in the Bank is?
Think it's in June.
June? Okay.
June or July. And I don't think it's enough time to get that character up to that point.
Yeah.
So
Which
this
is
year,
why I'm putting him at a 6.
This year I'll go 4. Next year it'll go up again. Yeah. But this year it took too long. It took too long to be universally accepted. It took too long. The last 2 months were stupid. The first month was great. I would have been with you if he kept it at the first month's pace. But the last 2 months sucked for Woken Matt. I was not into it at all. So I'm not high on the Money in the Bank Woken Matt this year. Not high on it at all.
Okay. But even so, I'm just glad the Ultimate Deletion turned out as well as it did. And
yeah.
It sort of tells me that, you know what? They're going to do a heck of a lot more.
And I'm happy that came out this morning, because it means that it means that they're not done, and Bray Wyatt still has a part to play. Mm-hmm. Which, because let's face facts, after this feud with Matt Hardy, where did you think Bray Wyatt was going to go?
I have absolutely no idea.
I really don't think they had anything for him, because he's done the heel thing for so long. I'm pretty sure he's fought everybody on the good guy side. So maybe it's time to reincarnate him as a fresh face, Bray Wyatt.
I would love that.
We all know how the crowd wanted it when he teamed up with Roman Reigns that one time. And the crowd blew up when he got Roman Reigns over. When he teamed with Roman Reigns.
You're not wrong.
So, come through, WWE. Give me faith in Bray Wyatt again.
And I think that's exactly what they're doing.
You took him all the way down to the land of reincarnation. Let's get it done. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Well, speaking of the Lake of Reincarnation, let's move on to SmackDown Live, because let's face it, someone just got reincarnated.
It's time. Go ahead, Jeff.
Well, really, there's only one thing that we could possibly really get into here in terms of things happening on SmackDown, and that is, seemingly out of nowhere, we got... Apparently, the WWE medical officials have officially cleared Daniel Bryan to return to in-ring competition.
This literally came out of nowhere early Tuesday morning. Okay? No one was talking about it. No one knew that Daniel Bryan was going to the doctor Monday night. It just showed up on Twitter and everybody was like, what? Ah! And I play around on this podcast. I play a part here that I don't have anything against Daniel Bryan. Okay? I think some of his fans are a little out of control.
I could say the same about a lot of wrestling fans, but
I don't
sheer passion level. Sure.
Yeah, I kind of fell off the Daniel Bryan bandwagon back during those Royal Rumbles. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like this person must win the Royal Rumble crowd. I don't like
that.
I don't like the statement this person must win. No. Okay. And when you say it over and over again, you get results like we got on the podcast that one time. Which was me finally snapping and going, you know what? Fuck Daniel Bryan.
Okay.
But
when you put it that way, okay. Yep. Anyway, continue.
There's no mistaking this man's passion and drive for the business. And I respect that. And I love him as a competitor. But when your fan base is out of control, I turn on you a little bit. But this is good stuff. I'm happy that he got cleared and that he can actually do what he loves to do. Mm-hmm. I'm happy for him. Just I really hope that his fan base doesn't turn into that rabid crowd that was happening before he got hurt in the first place, because I don't want to have to turn into that guy again.
Well, I'll be very honest with you. As someone who you could really make a case that I was one of those people. As someone who is in that mentality of Daniel Bryan must win this thing, Daniel Bryan must win that thing. As someone who definitely, I admit, had that type of mindset, I don't think it's going to be the same way, and I'll tell you why. When Daniel Bryan was very, very big, when he was like white hot, one big reason why he was white hot was because he was the forerunner to a type of wrestling that was considered to be like indie or way too technical. This was before the current state of NXT and, you know, guys like AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura being all over the place. Really, when it came to that element, that indie recognition on the WWE stage, Daniel Bryan was it. And not only was he it, in the past there have really only been like one champion of that type of wrestling. But in the past it was CM Punk. In the past it was Daniel Bryan. There was really only one, maybe two if you were lucky, of that type of wrestler at the time. So that when they did come in, you would have the reaction of, oh yeah, everyone who was a fan of that type of indie wrestling or just independent wrestling in general, everyone who was a fan of that type of wrestling would rally behind that person. It was CM Punk in the past. It was Daniel Bryan before. And now because Daniel Bryan got over in such a big, big way, and the corporation as a whole recognized that and honored that, now NXT has exploded, and by extension the main roster has exploded. Now we've got things that we thought we'd never see. We got AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens. The list goes on, and that's just on the main roster right now. I mean, if you're talking about people in NXT right now, you've got, just from the men's division, you've got Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, Andrade Cien Almas. They just brought in Ricochet. It's just there's so much independent talent now that really, for the first time in ever, I think, the fan of independent wrestling does not need to worry about having the type of wrestling they like being represented on WWE programming on a regular basis like they needed to before. With Daniel Bryan before, now it's like sink or float. He was the one people's champion that existed. Now there are several people's champions. There's a smorgasbord of people who The independent